You might be wondering, how the hell am I flying in Minecraft Survival? How am I wearing stacked armor? How am I wielding stacked items? And how the hell do I have a stack of totems? Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MineTexas Network. This is the second oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft. So you may be wondering, what the hell is this machine? What does it do? Why and how long it took to actually make this? Well, it's a dupe machine. It's a dupe machine. And it basically can dupe about 400 shulkers every single tick. But it brings the server's TPS down to 0. So, me and my partner that are here, duping currently, we are currently trying to find a way to make it to where we can dupe at least 48 shulkers, which is this, and then this. Only 48 shulkers is this. So we're trying to think of a way that we can minimize lag while on the server, because currently there's 9 people on. It's not a very popular server, but if you actually go on MineTexas.com, you can actually figure out how old the server is. And if you go to the MineTexas server network thingy-mabobber on YouTube, you can actually figure out and find out when the Anarchy server was actually officially made. Now, this thing is nothing fancy by any means at all, to any degree. It's just a little base that I flew out to. We figured we'd find some coordinates, and I'm not gonna obviously put them on screen. At first I started by duping this kit, which I will show you. This kit, it is a spawned-in kit by the admin. At least the armor that I am currently wearing is. All of these names and stuff, it's a plugin that allows us to actually color name items. I made this kit, and I colored all these items and everything, mainly for the fact of the badge set LDS. Oh, I don't have access to that badge on this account, but basically, it's the Sword of Laban. It's a Mormon kit. A lot of people use it because of this armor. If you look at that, it has every possible enchantment that you can put on armor. It even has conflicting enchantments, like Depthstrider 3 and Frostwalker 2. It has Feather Falling 4, Frostwalker 2. It has a lot of other conflicting enchantments that you couldn't even do in the first release of 1.14, which is actually, we're on the 1.14.4. So this was made back in 2017 during a Halloween event, and the admin had actually spawned in skeletons that had a chance of dropping 100% the items that they were wielding. They were wielding bows that were normal, and then they were also wielding armor, like this. At one point, the admin, Atarinlin, decided to go ahead and spawn in Power 10 bows. This was short-lived through about 2018. While these bows had been duped, Atar enabled a plugin which technically removed all invalid enchantments, such as Silk Touch on shears, which you could no longer put on shears. These shears originally had Silk Touch on them, but they no longer have Silk Touch. This bow had Power 10, but now they no longer have Power 10. So that's a bummer. But I guess it doesn't really matter when you have these many OP items and you can actually hold them. It doesn't really matter. And when you're wearing stacked armor, it doesn't really matter. Like, this armor is absolutely OP. It's literally OP in the sense. Now, one thing on the server, though, is that when you break shulkers, they glitch out, they delete items, and when I place it back down, it deletes stuff. So it's like once you place the items, once you place the shulker, it's kind of that's it. If you ever break the shulker, then it will, like this shulker here, it'll just take everything that's there and then glitch it out. So a lot of the shulkers that I have around here are just placed and never broken until I'm finally done using them. Kind of like this one. This is just a quick kit to go to if I need to get another set of stacked armor or anything like that. Now, to kind of demonstrate how the dupe on this server works, I'll go over here. I have some item frames. It uses a slime block, and it's only working on literally just... Here, for example, I'll dupe this kit. I don't think I have many of them duped, but basically, it only works on spigot only, but not on normal spigot. It has to be on paper. So it's like a fork of spigot, but it's a server software for Minecraft, and it only works, and it's only possible on spigot only, I guess. It's hard to kind of explain. Basically, any other server that's running paper, this should work, and it should work on really ideally any modern or newest release. The devs of paper haven't been able to replicate this freaking dupe to actually get it to work. And I think it's only the combination of plugins that the server admin has, or that particularly, I would say, Anarchy servers. So it's hard to actually identify where this is happening, and the server admin very well knows about it. And I've actually been in voice chat with him before, and he says that it is not patchable, and it likely will never be patched. Unless if there's some new information that's released about this, or there's actively people trying to patch this, it will not ever be patched. So basically, I put in the labor to dig out all of these chunks and fill them full of chests and hoppers. I took the labor to build this. This took about 18 hours to finish. And basically, because I have this machine, I can dupe a lot of items in a very rapid procession. One thing to note is I'll show you how this thing works. Let me find a good chest to put it all in. Basically, the idea is that a piston pushes into a slime block that has a... I guess you could say that has a... an item frame there. And it needs to be a sticky piston, but it can, in fact, be a normal piston. You don't need a sticky piston, but if you want to make complex machines like this one, you do, in fact, need sticky pistons. Now, essentially, it doesn't matter. You can have a redstone clock, or you could flick it with a lever, whatever way you want to do it, or you can do it just like this. All you have to do is literally hold down on it, and it just instantly just starts duping, 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 duping. And then eventually you will notice, after a good bit, the item frame might break like that. So the item frame isn't permanently on there. You have to manually monitor everything that's happening. But I would say literally just from 30 seconds, I duped pretty much an entire chest of items and shulkers that are stacked illegally from the 1.12 exploit. And literally just standing here, I could probably get that entire double chest full of stacked items that can last you probably years if you're very conservative with the way you spend or use your items in an anarchy setting. Yeah, just like that, I already have more than an entire double chest full of a stacked kit that has special names, which normally you have to purchase a rank for on the server to be able to allow or get access to that naming system. Just to kind of display what's going on in this kit in particular, it's just your normal kit. It's got, of course, it's got elytras, it's got all of that. It's got fully maxed out enchantments. This one I kind of like because you got jump boost potions, XP, you got instant health, and you got strength. stuff like that that might be useful to you. Although I wish there was stacked kits that had speed. Speed 2 would be very nice. Maybe you can get like speed arrows and shoot yourself with an arrow, and there you go, you got speed. But yeah, pretty much. Now, this kit I would say is kind of irks me because there's only 60 carrots, and I feel like it's just a meme. But yeah, that's it. But like I said, the second that you break a kit, second you pick it up, it glitches out, just like kind of like this. And yeah, so the thing is that once you place it, it's done for. Don't even try to break it. Breaking it with a piston or pushing it with a piston or doing anything, no matter what, if that shulker is ever moved from its current position, if it's ever moved from its current position in any way, shape, or form, in any way possible, it will glitch and it will break, and you won't get your items back, and a lot of stuff will be deleted. So my best bet to you is if you really want to, you could dupe stacked kits. Then you could place it on top of a hopper and filter the items out of the hopper, because I mean currently you can unstack via hoppers, or you can just do them manually by pressing Q. You can just press Q over it and it does work. Although it dupes the durability, so if you had a durability that wasn't all the way full, you need to mend yourself all the way back up using XP bottles or a grinder or whatever way that you get yourself back up. Then you can press Q over and over and over again and fill up shulkers of just like boots and that and make an armory, like stuff like that, you know. So the way that this machine works though is we have a series of levers. These top levers turn on the machine. As you can see there, it's moving. The second I flip this lever, it does not. Now, say if I wanted to turn off a section, I would just flick that lever there, and that would turn off the front section, and I could turn it back on, and it would only dupe the back section, as you can see back there. Now, if I were to flick that off, and then try to do anything, it would work. If I wanted to do single action, I would have to turn both of them on to get them back in correctly, and turn them back off. Now, we have a timer system. Basically, the way that the timer works... the server had a bit of lag there. There we go. So, basically, the way this timer system works is that it's on a clock, and we have a machine where we can actually turn off the clock using a button over here. And that sends a signal that lifts up that thing and then turns off the clock. Now, if we wanted to turn it back on, we would go back out here, just quickly flip the switch, and then it would turn the clock back on, and then we can just go right to it. So we don't have to go out there, manually place it, do redstone, lamps and torches and stuff like that to get it going again. All we have to do is flick a lever and flick a switch and tap a button, and it pretty much works. So basically, you might be wondering, well, what the hell am I duping? I am duping building blocks here, mainly right now. These center sections, though, are going to be kits and different individual items and stuff like that that I might want to dupe. That I would consider like golden apples or wither skeleton kits or just wither skulls or soul sand, things like that. I'm pretty much duping everything that I can. This entire column, I think it has about 20,000 shulkers. I can't remember. There was something like... Okay, all I can say is that there's 27 times 2 in this chest, and then 5, and if you take this and times it by 37, that's the number of all the items that are in here. Now, we're doing sea lanterns as well. Now, some of the shulkers are pretty much full. The chests are pretty much full, but we do have a bit more to do to get to that one. And once we're done, we move the hopper array to the next column, the next column, the next column, the next column, next column, next column, and so forth. Now, the way that we're doing this is we're actually going to build a base down below once it's all done. But pretty much, I'll be duping like concrete in this one. This is going to be purely concrete. This one here might be like different various blocks, or maybe just literally tools and stuff like that. Who knows? We do build with a lot of smooth stone. It's probably one of the best blocks in the game, simply because it's like iron blocks, but it's stone instead. Sea lanterns is kind of, in my opinion, one of the better blocks to use to actually light up an area. Now, I am using a hack client, so I have Future Client, buy it at futureclient.net. I do have a hack client that uses Fulbright and stuff like that, so that way I don't have to turn up my gamma manually. I do have a few other things where I can actually fly by toggling on something and actually flying around. And a lot of other clients actually don't have this ability on being able to fly on this server. Really, the only one who can actually fly is Future Client without really any complications. A lot of people wonder, how the hell do you fly around and don't get kicked? Simple. Just turn on anti-kick, and then it works. Just as long as you're not like holding the space bar. I'll kind of show you how this works. You hold the space bar and then it kicks you. But if you just like do it really quickly and just kind of go down, or just turn it off if you're going down and then toggle it back on if you're coming back in, I mean, it works just fine. Also, I really like beacons, so I have beacons everywhere. I like to make sure that I'm under the beacon effects 24/7 because A, kill aura is very nice when you have things like phantoms all the time, and just hitting them once or twice to kill them is super easy and is very effective. So also, I'm never nervous about killing phantoms above this thing or having that affect the filtration system, because we have an item filter in place to make sure that all of the items that we do or might break inside there are filtered out. Case in point, we have phantom membranes right there. Now, whenever item frames break inside of the machine, which of course they do, as I demonstrated with that machine right there, we also have it to where they will fill out and filter through a chest, and then we just come back and retrieve them, and we don't see them at all in this machine. Instead of having to manually go through every single chest to make sure that everything is in there just fine and going through every single hopper, we don't have to do that. We don't even have to worry about that. It's not a problem at all. Now, once this is done, we might dismantle this machine, mainly because I mean, I don't really trust anyone coming across this machine. We might leave it, we might not. I'm not entirely certain, but yeah. So to explain what causes the fucking lag for this machine, it's not really anything to do with there being so many items. Like, if we were able to filter a lot of the items much quicker, or find a much quicker method, maybe finding a way to make sure that all the hoppers are being appropriately used, or having more hoppers to move things, or it could even be hopper lag, but really it's the sheer amount of items that will literally be stuck at the end of this water thing. That's the sheer amount of items that sit there will actually cause the server to go to 0 TPS. And then once that happens, the server takes a long time, like probably 20 minutes, to get back up from 0 TPS without admin intervention. And so far, Atar, I don't think he's really noticed this. I don't even know if he's going to see this video. But, hey man, I mean, in all honesty, I'm not trying to lag the server. I'm just trying to dupe a lot. But if you could tell me what I could probably do to reduce lag, that would be great, because I've thought of using Ilmango's fast hopper method, but the issue is unless every single hopper is using fast hoppers, it's not really gonna work. So how would I make this work with the chests and stuff like that? Like, you would have to have the items filtering very quickly, or find some sort of way to use like a water system, but then at some given point there's going to be a neck in the bottle, and it's going to cause the items to get kinked up, just like here. So it's really just not worth the effort. Basically what we do, if we call this a mercy switch, we'll turn that on, and it'll at least get half the items that are here, put them into just lava, and it'll burn them all. And then the other half that we duped will just be put right into the hopper system, or they'll just despawn. So the thing is that we can dupe a lot but we're not filtering them out, so it's not even worth it to actually use this machine. What we do is we use one section at a time, and we have switches and toggles to make sure that we can use those sections individually, so that way we can at least get a column filled within one single run. So far, I mean, I have been pretty lazy because it does take a lot out of you to have to put every single item frame in, and then every single shulker and every single item frame. It takes about 20 minutes to get that finished, but once you get that done, it's like every 20 minutes you can dupe an entire column of items, and man, yeah, very, 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 very overpowered. To give a little bit of reference, let me go on my main account, and this is also my base. I'm obviously not showing the coordinates or anything like that. To give a bit of reference, though, for how many days I've played on the server, well, let's go here. I have killed 3,933 players, and I have played 28.67 days on this server. But anyways, I hope that you guys did in fact enjoy the video. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you would like to see more from me or see content from me similar to this, feel free to comment.